Have you ever relaxed under a clear, starry night sky? Just sat back and watched the stars shining above you, twinkling like tiny mysteries waiting to be solved. During the Renaissance, studying the sky inspired some people to ask big questions like, what are those stars? Or, does the sun move around the Earth, or is it the other way around? This curiosity sparked the scientific revolution, a time during the Renaissance when scientists made discoveries that changed the way people understood the universe. Today we'll uncover how they solved some of the greatest mysteries of the night sky, and how these discoveries changed the world forever. Speaking of mysteries, that leads us to today's world history mystery. What big discoveries did scientists make during the scientific revolution? As we investigate clues to solve the mystery, we'll look at Islamic influences on the scientific revolution, contributions of key figures, and the event's influence on worldviews. Are you ready, scientists? Think back to a previous lesson on Islamic empires like Mali. How could those empires have helped inspire the Renaissance? Many Islamic empires placed a great emphasis on education and learning. That devotion to knowledge was supported by leaders such as Mansa Musa. Many cities in those empires became significant centers of learning, including Timbuktu. So it's no surprise that the scientific revolution during the Renaissance was greatly influenced by knowledge from the Islamic world. During the Middle Ages, Muslim scholars made important advances in areas like mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. How do you think the discoveries made by Muslim scholars influenced scientists in Europe? In the Islamic empires, leaders in cities like Cairo and Cordoba built libraries, madrasas, and universities where scholars collected and translated ancient Greek and Roman texts. Those works included knowledge on mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. Why is it important for different cultures to share their knowledge with each other? Pause here to respond. By sharing knowledge, the Greek and Roman works provided a foundation of ideas that later inspired Islamic scientists to question, experiment, and make groundbreaking discoveries. Many of these writings were translated into Latin, allowing European scholars to access and learn from them during the Renaissance. One important figure was Ibn al-Haytham, who studied how light works and how we see things. He conducted experiments with light and vision, laying the foundation for scientists to better understand optics, the science of light and vision. Another influential scholar, al-Khwarizmi, developed algebra, a type of mathematics that became essential for scientific study during the Renaissance. In fact, the word algebra comes from the Arabic word al-jabr, showing just how much we still use these ideas today. Astronomy was another area where Islamic scholars made big contributions. They created detailed star charts and invented tools to measure the positions of stars and planets. These discoveries helped European scientists better understand the movements of planets and the layout of the universe. This knowledge helped explorers navigate by using the stars to guide them to distant lands. European scholars built upon these Islamic ideas, setting the stage for the scientific advances that happened during the Renaissance. Like the Islamic scholars before them, European scientists used observation and experimentation to expand our understanding of the world. They even questioned old ideas about the universe. That makes me wonder, why is it important to question and test old ideas? Let's see if these key figures from the scientific revolution could help us answer this. Nicholas Copernicus was one of the first to suggest something surprising at the time, that the Earth is not the center of the universe. Instead, he proposed that the Sun is at the center of our solar system, and that all the planets, including Earth, revolve around it. This idea was different from what most people believed at the time. Why do you think Copernicus's idea that the Earth revolves around the Sun was so surprising to people? Copernicus's ideas made people start to question long-held beliefs about the universe. And since the Church supported the belief that the Earth was the center of the universe, questioning those ideas also challenged the Church's authority. Copernicus waited years to publish his work for fear of reprisal from the Church. Galileo Galilei built on Copernicus's ideas. He used a new invention, the telescope, to study the stars and planets. When he looked at Jupiter, Galileo saw that it had moons orbiting around it, which proved that not everything revolved around the Earth. Galileo also observed that Venus went through phases, supporting the idea that planets revolve around the Sun. How did Galileo's use of the telescope change how people viewed the universe? His discoveries were so shocking that he got into trouble with the Catholic Church, but his ideas opened up a new way of thinking about space and the universe. Isaac Newton made even more important discoveries. Do you know anything about his work? He discovered the laws of motion and gravity, explaining how objects move on Earth and in space. Newton showed that the same rules apply everywhere in the universe, which was a huge step forward in science. His work encouraged others to study nature by experimenting and using reason to understand how things work. The discoveries of Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton revolutionized how people understood the universe. They showed that it's important to question and test old ideas because it helps us discover new information, correct mistakes, and can lead to new knowledge. Their work laid the foundation for modern science, encouraging future generations to explore the world through reason and evidence. The discoveries made by Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton not only changed science, but also challenged how people thought about authority and society. How do you think the use of experiments and evidence changed people's view of the world around them? Before this time, most people explained natural events, like the movement of the stars, weather, or illness, through religious beliefs or ancient traditions. However, scientists like Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton challenged these ideas. They showed that the world worked according to natural laws that could be observed, measured, and understood through reason and experiments. What kinds of changes in society do you think this new way of thinking brought about? This new way of thinking encouraged people to question authority and explore new ideas. They began to believe that evidence and careful study were the best ways to find the truth, rather than just accepting what they were told. These changes in thinking had a major influence on government and economics. Why do you think kings and rulers were interested in scientific discoveries during the Renaissance? Pause here to respond. Government leaders realized that scientific knowledge could help them in practical ways, such as improving navigation for sea voyages, such as Columbus's. Better maps and navigation tools allowed explorers to travel farther and faster, which led to the discovery of new trade routes. This increased wealth and power for European countries as they established trade connections with faraway places. Think back to how Spain and Portugal profited from new lands in the Americas. The growth in trade led to economic changes as new goods and ideas flowed between continents. The emphasis on reason and questioning also influenced political structures. In what ways do you think this focus on reason might have influenced people's ideas about how governments should work? If the universe followed natural laws, some thinkers began to wonder if human societies should be based on fairness and reason as well. This idea, rooted in humanist beliefs, helped lay the foundation for an expansion of democracy and human rights. Inspired by humanism and embracing individualism, people began to believe that they could shape their own futures, rather than simply following old traditions or rules set by kings and nobles or the church. The ideas and discoveries of the scientific revolution reshaped how we view the world, setting the stage for modern science, technology, government, and social structures. The scientific revolution was a turning point in history, transforming how people view the universe and their place in it. Scientists like Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton challenged old beliefs and introduced new ways of thinking through observation, experimentation, and evidence. Influenced by Islamic scholars, their discoveries laid the foundation for modern science and changed political, economic, and social structures. The focus on reason and questioning during this period paved the way for advances in navigation, exploration, and trade, and even shaped early ideas about democracy and human rights. By exploring the world through knowledge and evidence, the scientific revolution forever transformed our understanding of the universe and human potential. The scientific revolution also provides a reminder about today's world. Along with all of the information available in our society, we sometimes are overloaded with misinformation. Evidence and careful study are still the best ways to find the truth. With that, this world history mystery is solved. Next time, we take a look at the global impact of the Renaissance on the rest of the world, both then and now. Until then, keep exploring the past and shaping the future, and remember to always be clever.
Hey, hey.